to the best damn book club on the internet. My name's Ryan Talmadge. This is David Crocker. And today we're talking about Haunt.
Yay.
Yeah.
You have not been happy to talk about this, have you?
All I'm saying
you
is...
have not been happy.
All I'm saying is, with the lineup that worked on this book, how have we never heard of it?
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Greg Capullo.
Yes. I
had never heard of it.
Never heard of this comic before. I was suggested this and found it, and I kind of perused it to get started. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then read it all, and it's like, where's this been? Where?
Yeah.
Like, how has none of this been talked about? But we'll hit up with
credits.
All the credits. Our creators again are Robert Kirkman and Todd McFarlane. Writer Robert Kirkman. Layouts Greg Capullo. Pencils Ryan Otley. Inks Todd McFarlane. Colors FCO Placencia. Lettering Richard Starkings. And cover art Todd McFarlane and Ryan Otley.
So Greg Capullo didn't even draw. Wow.
He just page layout.
Page layout. He must have been showing a new guy or something. I don't know. Sorry, Ryan Otley, if that's not true. I don't know your work. I could be completely wrong. But yeah. It is extremely weird. You busy there, Dave?
Sorry. Getting alerts.
Unprofessional. Someone's Snapchatting over there. Are you Snapchatting?
No one.
Okay, well, better hope your wife doesn't see this.
Is my wife.
Oh, well, better hope I don't see it. I hope I don't see it. But no, yeah, you have that lineup and you've never heard of it.
Right.
What's kind of a big red flag. So I'll let you tell me what you thought about it first.
All right. So you get this started.
Do you like it?
I do.
Okay.
Am I going to go read volume 2? This got started, and you get introduced to Kurt. You get introduced to Kurt as well, actually, you see Daniel first with a whore. Then a confession by this guy, Kurt, who then goes out and tells you that he's a fucking unenhanced super soldier, pretty much. I mean, I thought he's pretty crazy. Then he dies, and you're sitting there going, where the fuck's this going to go? And then you have a Venom-esque situation happen. Up until that point, I was very curious of what was going to happen. Because you had Kurt, who's dead, his brother, who couldn't care less, really, though he was at the funeral. And then all of a sudden, Daniel starts talking to Kurt. And he even acknowledges, you're not here.
Talking to Daniel.
No. Well, either way, they start talking to each other after Kurt's death, and you're like, he's like, I know you're not here. Stop it. And it just, you're like, oh, maybe this is going to be a weird, he teaches him how to be a soldier and shit. And instead, Kurt possesses Daniel and kind of just becomes a Venom symbiote, which was a little odd. And then he just kind of runs around, kills people, stabs them in the face, and rips them apart. Because they're after his wife and family. And then there's a secret agency that tries to train him. And there's already a turncoat ×2. And yeah, it just kind of seems like a lot of stories that have already been done 1,000 times.
Okay.
I still enjoyed it.
So you recapped it. That's what I was looking for.
What, my recap or the...
No, I was like, I asked you whether you liked it or not, and
well,
you just recapped the whole story.
I did. What was it? Again, I did enjoy it, but it also seems like it's been done 1,000 times. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's not bad. I'll say that. What it feels like is when you start watching TNT on the weekends.
Oh,
and
God,
it's just old or B-rated action movies.
Yep.
From the time you turn on the channel until the NBA starts.
Yeah.
And it's just old B-rated action movies.
That's a good point.
That's exactly what it feels like.
That's the done it 1,000 times right there.
Yeah. So, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I like watching those movie marathons. Most of the time I don't.
But when you're in the mood for something like that, this is good.
Yeah.
But nah.
But no, it felt like they were either trying to do Venom or they were trying to do like a R-rated Venom where they actually showed all of the like gore and blood and all that, or they were trying to do Spawn without all the Catholicism and
without
hell
so much
and,
supernatural.
Yeah, because it's a secret agent gets killed or a police officer gets killed in Spawn. Right. Turns out their wife there's a wife cheating on somebody, and all this other stuff. I just don't understand why they didn't completely cover his face.
In what?
In Haunt.
They did cover his face.
They did the Batman where it stops right here. And you can see his chin the entire time. Which only makes sense if it's a cowl. No, when it's a symbiote, I swear to God. No, it's not.
His whole face is covered.
No, his chin is visible. But when you have a symbiote-like suit, it should cover your entire face. You just have this weird, fleshy, stubbled chin.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It is just a stubbled chin.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking notice that. Why the fuck would you not just cover his face?
It just looks like, honestly, they were trying to try out that artist for Spider-Man. It's like, hey, Marvel, this guy really wants to do Spider-Man. Look what he can do.
Fuck.
But no. Like I said, though, we've definitely read worse on this show.
Oh, God,
that fucking Deathstroke book. Yeah.
That might be the all-time low.
But Deathstroke is so bad it's memorable. This is just, I'm completely apathetic to it.
This is just cool.
Yeah, which is
maybe not as good.
There's a term in wrestling, if they're booing you or cheering you, it doesn't matter.
You'll always be there.
It's when you come out and no one does anything is when you need to start to worry. But might be being a little bit too harsh, but I was like,
but kind of going back to what you said. I mean, we have the lineup of Kirkman and McFarlane.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, hell
Capullo
yeah.
Appears and I mean, he did something.
He does something. He laid out pages.
This also came out in 2010.
Yeah,
and there ain't a fucking peep about it.
No,
other than just some people that have read it and like it. It's just kind of here.
Like, cool, man.
Yeah,
like
we did this.
I feel like I've seen this in a movie before.
I feel like I've read this in a Venom comic and in Spider-Man and fucking Captain America and everything else.
Oh, I know what it is. We just saw this shit in Moon Knight.
No shit, we did.
Yeah.
No shit.
Just a lot more nudity.
Yeah.
Also, that lady in the prison cell, I had her in some strange positions. At one point, she was like face down, ass up, and I was like, "Are y'all doing that shit on purpose?"
Yes, they're doing that on purpose.
So,
I was expecting her to jump on Daniel and the preacher and just fuck him right there in the cell.
Like, ooh, you're the haunt.
Yeah,
cool.
But when you have this the reason why Kurt's dead is because of this book by a doctor.
Now that part was
like
intriguing.
I was sitting there, I was like, okay,
that part was like, okay, this guy apparently was very close to creating eternal life and stuff like that. That part was interesting.
But we're just getting
yeah, it's just like I don't know. Apparently Kurt did not know how to keep it in his pants. He slept with any and everyone.
Yeah, we're up to 3 now.
Yeah. Stole his wife from his brother. Yep. That's kind of fucked up.
And then confesses to his brother while he's dead that he really doesn't love her anymore.
Yeah. Because his wife, either he couldn't tell her or she would never be able to relate to what he was going through.
It was both. I don't think, kind of like the secret agent, he can't tell.
Yeah. I would be interested in like how they handle that, what's her name, Mirage?
Yeah. his new
The
lover.
Mirage storyline was kind of interesting, but not enough to make me go back and get a volume 2.
Well, and another thing is, okay, you've pretty much introducing a symbiote suit here,
kind
of with possession that
but
gives
also,
you
like,
that possession that gives you powers.
How does a ghost give you that power?
Well, that's what, like, when I first started reading this, I thought he was just going to teach him, like, be his teacher, like a sensei, to become a super soldier without the enhancements, instead of just, nope, you now have these crazy ghost whipping powers.
It's just like, well, did Kurt, like, go to Africa at some point and get some weird, or wherever those people were from?
These people,
they seem to know what was going on.
because she carves his symbol into the floor, and that symbol was in their jail cell when Kurt finds them.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maybe it's an actual
Bolivia ghost or something. I don't know. Monster.
But
I don't know. They didn't explain that at all.
But you are sitting there, and it's enjoyable, and it's an action comic, so you get some action.
Oh yeah, if you
blood,
like action,
gore, you get, and you have turncoats.
Yeah.
But then you get done reading, you go, wait, haven't I read this before?
Yeah, I'm like
haven't I seen this?
I saw every twist and turn coming, and it just followed that road completely.
Yeah, they brought the their assistant director the book from the doctor, and she witnessed her boss leave the book, the whole reason, and then it goes, oh yeah, he's a piece of shit. I hate all y'all. I'm taking this my own. It's like, okay, where else was that gonna go?
Yeah,
like she's already established. It's not even secret.
No, didn't even try to
hide it.
Didn't even try to hide the mole in the secret agency from us. He just automatically told us who it was.
Yeah, and at the end of it, you
made her seem like a bitch the whole time.
Yeah,
so you're like, how do people like her?
Yeah, and then at the end of it, you go, oh yeah, the love interest is now the director, and she has no clue what's gonna happen, and you're now in our organization.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
Mirage isn't the director. Yeah.
His first lover.
Yeah.
That he says Autumn leaves to, and that's enough to
make her cry.
Make her cry. Tell me only something Kurt would know. Tell her Autumn leaves. What?
The fuck are we supposed to do?
What? How's that supposed to do anything?
Hey, remember that time we fucked on a leaf pile?
Oh, I do. That was so wonderful. I'm gonna cry now.
Yeah.
And the fact that he says it, and I thought it was like some sort of I would imagine it was some mission they went on.
Yeah.
And the brothers just immediately go,
yeah, just
you motherfucker.
Just do what they did in the fucking Avengers between Hawkeye and Black Widow, and just be like, oh, at least we'll always have Budapest.
Yeah.
Like, make it a city. Like, for real.
Just Autumn leaves.
Like
I could just only imagine the way he
they're
would
in the middle of like
Autumn
Manhattan
leaves.
On a fucking windy day. I don't know. But if you love just dumb action, and there's people that obviously love that.
Yeah.
Then this is for you. But
this is definitely one of those, if you were bored with everything else you're reading, pick it up for funds. Just for some.
If it's free, read it.
It is free.
Okay.
It was free. I think it was free.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sadly, that's about it.
Yeah. We made it 15 minutes. So.
Made it better than Tokyo Ghost somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. Oof.
And yet we enjoyed Tokyo Ghost.
Yeah.
Didn't care for this, and we're talking more.
You know, they say, like, it's easier to talk shit about something than it is to tell someone you like something. Go,
it was good.
Yeah. So, but yeah. If you love just B-rate action, go for it.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to see Spawn and Venom together, go ahead.
Right. This is definitely a conglomerate of everything that's been done before.
Yeah. So, that being said, we're gonna do shit list today. We had there's five weeks this month, and we couldn't find another segment, so we split shit list and personal recommendation apart. So, new shit list. You want to go first or second?
I'll go second. Let you get kicked off.
Oh, you're going second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I not say that? brain just went sideways.
Yep. It's gonna be tough because you haven't seen the movie.
Hell, man,
Something tells me
honestly, at this point,
you're just going to wait until
fucking have at it.
So
I have not seen spoilers for this.
Yeah.
Yet I already in my head have an idea with hearing comments about the movie. I have an idea how the movie went. I just don't know how the characters did it. You know what I mean?
It's
so
just,
have fun. I just
we read the story arc, the Thor story arc. My shit list is Thor: Love and Thunder. We read this story arc from Thor later this year, and it was one of the most epic, like instantly, probably in my top 5 comic book story arcs. And it was like Marvel went in there and said, "Here's where Thor is at. Here's where we need him by the end of the movie, and this is the villain we were thinking. So here, just make a story out of it." They don't, huh?
Please sure do.
Oh, fuck me. All right. So fuck, I'm gonna have to edit that out now. Okay. So yeah, they had Thor here. They wanted him here by the end of the movie. Here's this villain that is well known for Thor, so just throw him in there, and this is what they came up with. It's really not the Gore storyline at all. I mean, it's just small. It's like the small details that Marvel just isn't really paying attention to anymore.
Right.
Or it's just like, we get you have a story, so it's not going to be completely faithful, but now it's just like, it doesn't feel like you're respecting the material anymore, or like the source material anymore. And I don't know. It was just like, it looked like they were about to do Gore right, and then they just didn't at all. And then I love Taika Waititi, but like, you can't have every character trying to crack a joke constantly.
They did everybody the whole time?
Pretty much, like.
So it was a comedy. It was a complete comedy throughout the movie.
Yeah, and it was just like, all right. Like, I mean, obviously it's Marvel, so there's going to be jokes thrown in and stuff.
Yeah, I get that, but
like,
it's gore, it's death, it's supposed to be destruction.
He slaughters motherfuckers and shit, and like, you see him kill one god the entire movie?
You gotta be kidding.
You see where he has killed gods, but like, you don't see him slay but one god the entire movie.
That's ridiculous.
And it happens in the first, like, 5 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of him
is
that he is literally laying waste to the gods of
and
the
then
universe.
They try to redeem him at the end. And it's just like,
no.
Yeah, and it's just like, in this movie, they make the Necro Sword a bigger deal. Like, in the comic, they mentioned he had it, but it wasn't like...
But we also think the Necro Sword's going to play into some other shit coming down the line.
Possibly. But in the movie, they're like, the Necro Sword... well, first off, they break the Necro Sword, so it doesn't. I told you it was... what's his face? Noel made the Black Knight's sword, not the Necro Sword. Those are two separate swords.
Oh, fucking
But basically, in this movie, Gore's hatred from the gods is because he picked up the Necro Sword, or the Necro Sword chose him.
Right.
And that's what gave him his hate for the gods. Not the fact that the god never...
He literally spent his life hating gods.
Yeah.
For not helping his people. Instead, they fought each other instead of helping people.
His son, or in this movie, his daughter died, and the gods never answered his prayer. And in the comic, he walks up, the god got done in a battle or whatever, and he's like, help me. Like, the god is injured also. He's like, please help me. He's like, why would I help you when you would never help me?
You're going to fight instead of help people.
The god just won the battle, but isn't injured. And is like, we're celebrating our victory. And he's like, I'm so happy to be here. Like, we're all dead. I'm your last surviving. Your
world's god.
Or like, no, like Christian Bale. He's like, I'm your last living disciple. I'm so glad. I can't wait to go to the eternal reward and all that. And the guy's like, there is no eternal reward. Y'all are just people to worship me. Like, I'll find someone else to worship me. Blah blah blah. which is also like
Well,
fucked
it's
up.
pretty
But
fucked
it's like,
up. That, yeah.
but it's like that isn't what triggered. Like he's still just kind of like, I can't believe you would say this. It isn't until he picks up the sword, chooses him, to where he's like, and the sword's like, kill all gods. And it's like the sword is what makes people want to kill the gods, not his hatred for abandoning people.
Come on.
And so when at the end of the movie they break the necro sword, Thor, there is no god bomb. I'll tell you that much. None.
Fuck.
You don't get that. No.
How do you not get the smack?
Exactly.
That's like the best part of the whole thing is he smacks and absorbs everything.
And so basically I'll just tell you spoilers if you're listening, like just fucking like Davis is cool with it. If you don't like it, you can skip ahead. Basically at the end of the movie, you have to reach eternity because he can grant you one wish. And Gore is going there to try to wish for no more gods. But then Jane and Thor get there. They break the necro sword, and so he's like standing at he got there first, so he gets the wish. And Jane is like dying of cancer, like right there. And he's like, they took my daughter from me. So I'm going to take them all. And Jane's like, you don't have to do that. You have a wish, like you can bring her back. And Gore's like, I'm dying. No one would be there to watch over her. And she looks at Thor and looks at him. He's like, someone will watch him. And so basically now Thor has a daughter, and it's Gore's daughter. Like he's watching and taking care of her. And Gore made the wish to bring her back instead of kill all the gods. And even if that's what you wanted to do,
what the fuck?
Don't redeem Gore. Like let him die. Like let him be crawling to eternity.
Yes.
And is like, I'm gonna kill all of you. You killed all my daughters. And then let Jane, who is dying, who is also trying to go to eternity to cure her cancer, let her
bring the kid back.
Let her bring the kid back and her die instead of saving herself. And then Gore, like she does that in front of Gore, and Gore's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then dies. And then Thor's like, well, I guess I would take care of you now. And so like, why are you trying to like Gore never...
You don't have to redeem villains. You can let them fucking die.
Gore never, like in the comic, was completely trying to kill everybody off, even when he lost his powers.
He killed his
when he
own
was dying.
wife. His own reincarnation of his wife.
Yeah. And so it's just like, that motherfucker should have like killed them all there, right there. And it's just like, okay, cool. And then you have people not really taking it super serious. And then also like, we just had a whole show setting up that there's multiple gods for each religion.
Yeah.
And there's no reference to Moon Knight or the Egyptian gods at all. Like the most they reference other movies is like outside of what's the city of the gods and all that?
New Asgard. Oh,
no.
Olympus? No.
It was something whatever that city where all the gods go to. There's some celestials there. There's like 2 celestials. They don't even reference any other.
They don't even
gods
reference like the Eternals or.
No, I mean, there's celestials there. That's it. But there's no Egyptian gods. You didn't even have Ra or Khonshu or any of them,
or any of the other Norse gods that Thor would even know.
Well, they're like mostly dead for the most part. Then you also didn't have like I guess you did have Zeus. But like you could have put like the Aztec gods. You could put like
Hercules.
Yeah. Well,
was Herc in it?
That's the end credits.
Yay!
Hercules is coming and is played by the guy who plays Roy Kent in Ted Lasso, which you still haven't watched. It's the best show on TV.
I don't have Apple. Whatever.
It's $5 a month. You could also ask for my login.
Oh, that's true too.
Actually, I deleted
it. But
as soon as Ted Lasso season 3 comes out, I'm getting it again.
I had a bad feeling when this movie came out. That's why I'm not hadn't been too worried about spoilers for it and hadn't really wanted to go see it. Is you introduce and show the movie and immediately you go, okay, one, Thor's fat. He's got to get over that. He's with the Guardians.
Oh, that's all within 15. Guardians are gone within 15 minutes.
I had a feeling that would happen, but you still have fat Thor that has to get rid of that. Guardians have to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Introduce Jane as the new Thor. Valkyrie as being Queen of Asgard.
Yeah.
Then you've got to introduce Gore. Then you've got to have them fight Gore. Then you've got to have whatever Thor and Jane are going to do coalesce.
Yeah.
It was just, I felt before the movie even came out that there was too much that had to happen in a 2.5 hour movie. That it should have been Thor and Jane for an entire movie with Valkyrie, and then transition to a Gore movie.
Yeah.
Not
now,
we're just gonna take all of this and dump it in a movie.
Yeah. Now someone did bring something up, is like, instead of Valkyrie, like, I understand, like, that's like the more well-known actress and all that stuff, but it would have made way more sense and a lot better storyline if that was Lady Sif. Like, Lady Sif's in it for like 5 minutes.
So from Thor 1, they wrote her ass off.
Apparently. But
and then she showed up in Loki for some reason.
Lady Sif in Norse mythology, and I think Norse mythology and in the comics, loves Thor. Like,
yeah, even in the
big time
Danny Cates,
gets friend zoned for real.
Yeah, in the current Donny Cates, she's following him around like a lost dog.
Yeah,
like she's always there to try to please.
And Lady Sif is actually a god. Valkyrie is not.
Right, Valkyrie's
why shouldn't Lady
just a soldier?
Yeah, so why shouldn't Valkyrie have to stay to watch her people, and Lady Sif, granted she loses an arm fighting Gore that you don't see.
Didn't even show her lose it?
No. Like, they go to the battlefield. There's a dead giant god like we see in the comics.
The, like, dog-looking one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then Lady Sif is there, and she's like, I'm going to Valhalla. And Thor's like, no, you survived. You just lost an arm. And she's like, shit. And I'm like, that's the joke. But it's like, Lady Sif
why
is a god.
did that have to be a joke? Like, why is that not a serious point of...
Yeah. Lady Sif, but like, Lady Sif is a god, so she should be way more concerned about Gore than Valkyrie. 2, she loves Thor, and so it just makes it way more interesting of a story if she is the one that has to go with Thor and Jane, and she has to sit there and
watch Thor love Jane.
Tell Thor to get off his ass and go, like, she's... Obviously, at that point, he knows she's dying, or... If she takes the spot of Valkyrie, she would know that Jane has cancer, but Thor doesn't know at that moment. Like, it's right before Jane tells him, and so it's like, Thor, just go be with her. Like, like, get on, do it. Quit being like so awkward about it. And just go tell her how you really feel, and then that's when. And it's just because the heartbreak of her having to tell him that when she really all she wants is like him to like realize that she loves him would make it way better than just
Valkyrie being a friend and pushing him over.
That, and she's just like apparently drunk the entire time. So not like Thor and Avengers in-game drunk, but like she's a little tipsy.
Functioning.
Yeah, she's tipsy.
I mean, that's the thing is I don't get.
Also, New Asgard is like a tourist trap now. So.
Fuck. See, I get that no one cared for the series Thor and Thor 1, though. I love it. Yeah. And in the comics, it's great.
Yeah.
But why do we have to go with an entire movie of comedy? Why does it have to be an entirety of comedy? Sound like that.
It works in Ragnarok because the only one like being stupid and like immature is Thor, and everybody else is the straight man. Yeah. And then you have the rock guy who kind of enables him a little bit. But in this one, everybody is like getting their jokes in.
It sounds like an entire.
But at the same time, you also have those moments where like Thor and Loki are in the elevator.
Yeah.
And Loki's like, "Oh, you always hated me," and Thor's like, "No, I loved you like you were my real brother." But there was just something you couldn't handle not being. You thought we didn't accept you, but we all loved you just as much as if you were blood. And so you have that serious moment to where like you have that and a couple other serious moments, and this movie just doesn't have that. So, but yeah, that was my shit list. So go ahead.
I don't know if I can top that.
Oh no, I think I know what yours is, and I'll probably rant on that one too.
Tony.
Yeah.
So we just went over 2 weeks ago that San Diego Comic-Con happened, and they announced the next 2 years and 2 phases of Marvel. And the only mention of Spider-Man or the Spider-Man universe is an animated movie that's animated show that is also going to be some sort of multiverse episode
not
as well.
Be main continuity.
So you sit there and go, okay, out of phase 4, like we've mentioned before, the best movie that came out of that was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And yet we're not going to get a Spider-Man for 2 more phases.
And,
so Spider-Man's gone.
In Morbius, they kind of take their ball and go home. They take Vulture out of the universe.
Exactly. So,
and then at the end of Spider-Man, there's honestly nothing.
They've wrote Peter Parker and Spider-Man out of the universe.
People know there's a Spider-Man because he goes out the window and saves people, but none of the Avengers know him.
Exactly. Like, so he's a completely gone person. They
know there's a Spider-Man, but now he doesn't have to be an Avenger or anything like that.
But then we
there's
turn
nothing
around,
tying him to the.
Then we turn around the week after San Diego Comic-Con, and you have directors and others that are high up in Marvel going, yeah, we want Daredevil and Spider-Man to be our low-level criminal fighters.
No, I haven't seen that.
I've seen it. I've seen it twice, and I wish I knew who said it. But
I'd be okay with that if we get Spider-Man in the Disney Plus shows.
But you're talking about, okay, yeah, we want Spider-Man to be a low-level criminal.
Yeah.
Yet
hero.
Excuse me. Yet you don't even have the rights to him anymore. He's not yours anymore. No. He's Sony's, and Sony's already said, like you said, they want to take their ball and go home.
Yeah,
they want to do their own shit.
I swear to God, and they piss me off because their movies suck. Like,
and I've
Venom
not
is
seen
not that. Morbius sucks,
but I've heard it's when they've tried to re-release it 3 times now.
Well, that's because they're idiots and they don't realize that every time Morbin time trends, it's because we're making fun of the movie. Morbius.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's just I haven't even seen it. I don't want to see it.
No.
Because, again, it's one of those that's like, if y'all, and I know you hand over the rights to your character and you wouldn't make as much money as you would if you just made the movies yourself.
Yeah.
But look at what Marvel is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I think they're going to oversaturate the market at some point.
Yeah.
But look at what's happening. Look at what they could make you if you just
honestly
let them have it and give you royalties off
They're going to keep making movies because what else does Sony really have? But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're gonna have to do what they did with Fox and just buy off Sony's movie division.
They will, and I think it's gonna happen.
And I don't think they'll, because they're buying out all their competition, which is how monopolies form. And those
Disney
get broken up.
They already are a monopoly.
Yeah, they should.
They are a monopoly. I mean, it's.
I don't know.
The only reason they aren't is technically you've got Warner Brothers and Sony, so they're not the only entity.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just I'm frustrated because it's like they finally said, "Hey, we're having trouble with Spider-Man. Can you help us?"
Yeah,
it makes all the fucking money in the world, and they're like, "All right, we got it.
We got it back. Yeah, we want it back." Cool. But we can't even prove that we can do it right. Because we've already fucked up with the movies.
And they're like, well, we had that one animated movie that did really fucking well. And it's probably one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. But, all the other. And, not gonna lie, Tobey Maguire, especially the first 2, especially number 2, were good also.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield has made a lot of money. But weren't that great. So, I don't know. It's
just. And then, of course, you have the Spider-Man 3 movie that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah.
With Tobey Maguire.
And I'm tired of fucking them trying to turn all his villains into anti. Have you heard what they're doing to Kraven?
What?
He's going to be an anti-hero who Kraven the Hunter is going to hunt poachers.
No.
And somehow Kraven the Hunter who walks around.
He is a poacher.
Yeah.
That's he is the poacher.
Somehow, Kraven the Hunter who walks around in
leather, in animal furs. Everything he owns is
lion hide over his shoulders. It's a friend to animals, is literally what they said.
Now that's just fucking stupid. That's just absolutely asinine. Because literally, Kraven the Hunter is the poacher.
Yeah.
He is the poacher. He is the god of
and
poachers.
it's a play off of Most Dangerous Game. Like, what are we doing? And it's just like, I don't know.
And Sony wants to do that. Of course, because
that's what they're doing. That movie's already being made.
Oh, Jesus. Please.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like Sony's doing worse to their characters than Fox did to the final X-Men movies.
I actually liked those.
I liked them. They just didn't meld together correctly. Each
movie
movie felt...
It legit, everybody was like, oh, look what Marvel's doing. We don't have to do that within 10 years. We can do it in like 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It felt like they were so disconnected, but they were good movies where Sony's sitting there going, we hate y'all, we're going to play our own game, and can't even produce great movies.
No.
Like, I still haven't seen Venoms. I still haven't seen
Venom
one
2, Here Comes Carnage or whatever the fuck. Could have been PG-13 or whatever. But it was rated R, and they just showed 0 blood and 0 carnage.
And because of that R rating, it now doesn't get put on certain TV shows. It doesn't get edited or doesn't get added to shows properly. So it's now just...
So you had Tom Hardy. What do you do?
Who's already proved he can be a badass.
Yeah.
And you just kind of bank.
I don't know, man. But yeah. Old men screaming at clouds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything you haven't heard before, but...
What'll be preached for the next probably 50 years.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I was thinking about that. Imagine 30 years from now how we're in the age of superheroes.
Yeah.
How much worse will it get if we're already bitching this much about the trend? How bad will it be by the time we get there?
Is it going to be like Westerns?
What?
It's going to be like Westerns where they made so many that they literally no one makes them anymore?
That's what I'm thinking.
You might get one like every 8 years now?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Probably.
Is that they're oversaturating it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. They're about the only things that are guaranteed money nowadays, though.
Which is also sad because there's other good shit.
The R-rated comedy is no longer there. People are too afraid to offend people, so.
Wah.
Which is a whole conversation I don't want to have on here. So.
Wah.
But yeah.
That's all I can say. That's wah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for this week.
Good shit list, folks.
We made it. We made it longer, so there we go. Hope you made it to work this time. But yeah, next week, Scott Pilgrim.
Woohoo!
We'll also, I guess we'll be doing...
We're doing our good or our recommendations. Either our recommendations or my quiz. Tom just quizzed me.
Yeah, we can do we'll fill it out.
We'll fill it out.
We'll figure
it out.
Depends on how long we can go. Because personal shit lists are usually topical. Personal recommendations you can find. It's just us telling you to go watch or read something. So
yeah.
But yeah, that does it for this week, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.